Hey guys, Zeteo here. Today we're going to be doing a speed cast. We're going to set that speed right now, bump it up to 1.5 times speed. And we're going to jump into this match here.
Game started.
All right, so we got Darth Revan, also known as xFactor, spawned at the top position here on the left, or sorry, the right-hand side as our blue Armada player. And their opponent is InDaClub, spawned at the top as well, at the top left as our red guy playing Armada as well. So this is FTL. It's kind of an interesting map. You got the high ground that you, I think you spawn here if it's set to duel. If it's set to team or custom, you can either spawn up here or down here. And if you spawn down here, the mechs are further apart, but it's a little bit easier to just kind of put an LLT and defend against early raiders and then easily grab these three mechs. Otherwise, if you spawn on the top, you have a little bit of wider area. It's a little bit harder to grab these mechs down here before that LT gets up, but you can send your commander or a con over here to grab some of these mechs down here, so it can certainly come into play. But yeah, it looks like InDaClub going vehicle. We got a vehicle from xFactor as well, and this is a solar map. There's no wind whatsoever, so what that means is you know, you gotta be really careful with building solar. Because it is such a high cost, you know, putting down an extra solar can mean not having any more metals. So you got to be really careful about that. For some reason, the set speed didn't go off, so we're going to just set that right now. There we go. You can see at the bottom here. But yeah, we have a con out first for xFactor, going down to the low ground, grabbing those mexes. And we have a rover coming out here from InDaClub. Probably getting a con as well to expand. I guess, no, he's going to just send his commander over immediately to grab those mexes and add on another con. Probably the second con maybe going out to do that. That rover got picked off, by the way. xFactor just, of course, having enough rovers out to defend that region. And now moving his own commander over here to grab those mexes. So certainly a nice play to have, even adding on an LT afterwards. It looks like InDaClub kind of doing the same thing, except decided to put down a solar instead of putting down an LT. And this becomes kind of a thing because he doesn't really have the metal for it. So I think this is a bit of a mistake. I think he was stalling there a little bit even, trying to build that, slowing down his production probably on his factory from it. And yeah, it looks like the mech gets taken out anyway. It's just xFactor being on top of things. Another rover gets picked off here at the ramp as well as the blitzes come out. So InDaClub going to be just fine with that, but a little bit further behind because he built that solar. xFactor, you know, instead deciding to build all three of these mechs on before the solars. So now it's stalling a little bit, but at the same time, not really that long. I think InDaClub was stalled longer. And now sitting a little bit AFK with his commander, just not having maybe the APM or throughput to, you know, keep it going. And finally, his con goes out to the low ground to grab these mechs as well. So just kind of behind. A little bit behind because of his opener here. A little bit behind because that con's not out there yet. So blitzes try to come in here. Both the LT and 3 blitzes here to defend. I don't think xFactor took any damage there. So primarily a donation, just you know, throwing away a couple blitzes and, you know, reclaiming them. And I think xFactor might look at that. Actually, yeah, xFactor looking at that situation and saying, okay, I can just get away with not building ground for a minute and maybe building on Air Lab. Actually, yeah, he's reclaiming his vehicle plant here. So with that, I would assume that it's going to be an early transport kind of play going over to the high ground to grab these mexes. And I wonder if he's going to send his commander or if he's going to be sending a con to do it. But either way, oh, okay, it's going to be commander with this heavy transport coming out. So this is going to give InDaClub a window of opportunity to strike, as xFactor isn't going to have too many ground forces here. But yeah, I think with these LTs, it's going to be kind of tricky. And xFactor, okay, so yeah, the air is also seen, by the way. InDaClub, I think, just doing a, what's it called? You know, it's just pinging out of habit. You know, more of an 8v8 player than xFactor. We do have a scout and a bomber out as well. The scout flies over, it sees a whistler. Whistler kind of something you might not see every day, but on this kind of map where it's so choky, it's so narrow, whistlers can be really nice to have. And I think with that airplay, This might be somewhat of a mistake, but at the same time, the Whistler, I mean, it can take down like the LT for free and stuff like that. But he might be looking at the situation saying like, okay, if you're going to go air, I can pressure with ground, or I could just build up a bigger ground force. But at the same time, xFactor has so much more income because he was just out there a lot sooner with his con grabbing mexes that I think xFactor is going to basically just get away with this for free, or at least that's what it looks like. There's just not enough units out here for InDaClub. So, and at the same time, InDaClub kind of stalling maybe a little bit on some of these units. These Whistlers were just kind of chilling here for a moment. Blitzes jump on these Blitzes with that single Whistler, take out a couple of them for free. I don't think xFactor lost any units in that either. So xFactor just taking some really nice engagements here. And, you know, some of these units are hurt, could probably repair them, but at the same time, they are going to repair for free. Or I guess repair is always free, but they will repair over time if they are sitting there idle for a while. So, you know, there is that. But yeah, with all the extra income that xFactor is grabbing from that high ground, I think he's going to be sitting pretty good. Now, that bomber, I'm not sure. Did it go out? I don't see it. Oh, the bomber's just kind of chilling in the back here. It could potentially do some stuff, but I think he's kind of playing it safe considering there's so many Whistlers out. You know, some of those Whistlers might still be in the base, or maybe, you know, there's anti-air or something. He might want to give the impression that he's not really doing a bombing play and just kind of having it chilling. Or maybe just saving it for later. I'm a little bit surprised that he still has the air lab, but he does have a bunch of metal, so I guess it doesn't really make sense to reclaim it. But yeah, all these blitzes are jumping on these Whistlers. And doing some damage, but at the same time, I think, you know, InDaClub's taking a better trade here. There's kind of a lot of metal reclaim in this region at this point. And I think it would make sense for InDaClub to move maybe a con over here or his commander to kind of eat some of that up, because if he doesn't, and xFactor grabs hold of this area again, all this metal is going to go to him. And that's certainly not what you want as InDaClub on this kind of map. I mean, the map's small enough. There's not that many mexes here. And it's going to be really easy for xFactor to just grab it. Yeah, he's actually moving his commander over already, parking his heavy transport in the back just so the Whistlers don't, you know, damage it down. Looks like the Whistlers are separating from the medium tanks, though. Medium tanks going forward. There's 4 of them. Whistlers getting pounced on by these medium tanks and blitzes. And there goes all the Whistlers. I mean, that's really, I think, unfortunate and a pretty sizable mistake. But InDaClub coming out here to destroy these mexes. I mean, I think it's kind of tricky. Maybe he's thinking he can get through here, but with all the metal income that you have on this map compared to an 8v8, so like you can pump out a lot of units. And so all these units coming down the ramp are able to destroy that, take it out. The bomber, meanwhile, sorry, I missed it a bit, took out some solars here. Another run goes off, takes out some more solars, but yeah, I think InDaClub gonna be kind of strained on energy for moments here. And yeah, all these wrecks are going to xFactor. Meanwhile, at the fronts here, plenty of medium tanks here to defend. There's even some Beamer and some LTs to help it out. And yeah, I don't think InDaClub's going to be able to get over here anytime soon. This is a lot of wrecks that are going to just go to xFactor. I mean, I think the better play, instead of trying to go through this narrow area and split your forces and leaving your Whistlers behind, you know, just try to keep them together, keep them in a position to contain your opponent, you know, contain him so he can't just keep moving so many units through here. But yeah, I think this really has to do more with the metal income difference here. It's just a pretty sizable difference. And, you know, xFactor has an extra air lab. He's able to crank out a lot of units still and just has a lot of stuff going on. Even a T2 transition coming down with all that metal that he's got, with all the reclaim and whatnot. InDaClub actually grabbing the Geo. I think that was somewhat in response to the bombing, but at the same time, I don't think he really had the energy for it. It looked like he was probably stalling on it for a little bit. And I think that's going to cut his forces down even more. But yeah, having trouble spending, might be throwing down a T2 lab for himself, realizing that xFactor is in somewhat of a defensive posture here. But yeah, he can't be feeling good after losing all those units in this region where xFactor can just eat him up and turn it into whatever he wants. In this case, you know, it's being turned into T2. So, you know, already has that T2 constructor out, already starting to produce some bulls. And I think with the metal income that he has, he could even throw down a fusion pretty soon here. Yeah, he's actually even queuing up at the moment. And okay, so yeah, InDaClub going for his own T2, but it's kind of a tricky situation here. Like, do you go strong into T2 like this? Do you sell it and go back to T1 and just kind of like upgrade mexes? I think these are all viable, potential things, but at the same time, T2 with that extra range that they have, can certainly help a lot on this kind of map where it's very choky. Range can be a big deal here. I mean, I think that's why the Whistlers are here, right? Or at least in part. Of course, they also have anti-air capabilities, but yeah, being able to shell stuff from a distance, and while it's very difficult for your opponents to push through such a narrow area, can be really nice, kind of strategy to have on this kind of map. But yeah, like I said, xFactor going straight into that fusion. I wonder if he's going to stick with bulls, or if he's going to start working on maybe some Mausers or some Starlights or something like that. I guess for now, while he's producing the fusion, just doing bulls. Meanwhile, over here on the other side, we do have some Mausers being produced with some bulls. So yeah, InDaClub trying to exploit the range here. I think that's a wise decision. He kind of needs to have some kind of advantage like that, because he's kind of down on all the other aspects. So just, I guess trying to have the right unit for the job here, and maybe lay down some, some fire from a distance. We do see a Starlight being produced here now that the fusion's done from xFactor. He certainly still has a lot of metal saved up here, so he can actually produce a lot of units. And, I think the window of opportunity for InDaClub is diminishing here. I mean, Mauser's doing a nice job, just, maybe shelling some high ground positions here. It'd be really nice to be able to take out these mexes. Really nice to be able to take out some of these positions as well. And yeah, I think this is xFactor doing some micro with the transport, moving the LTs around. You can transport them, by the way. You can even transport things like beamers with the heavy transport. And that can be really nice. But yeah, these Mausers are shelling the plates from a distance. And, I think xFactor, looks at that and just says, I'm just going to back up for a moment, wait for my Starlight to come out, and then I'm not sure what you're going to be able to do about it. We should probably take a look at the income. Okay, we don't have a fusion there for, for InDaClub. So I think this is becoming really, really tricky, especially as these bulls pounce on these units, all of them sort of clumped up here because it's so narrow. And yeah, I think just the extra AoE from the bulls, and then you got the distant shot from the Starlights. I mean, I don't think InDaClub can really keep this game going. Without that, he kind of just lost his momentum there with the Starlight coming out. And there's the GG, the self-D from the commander.
Battle ended.
I don't know, kind of an interesting game. I think it showcased just like some key differences between, someone that's 60 OS 1v1 and someone who's a really strong 8v8 player, but, a reasonably strong 1v1 player, but has 8v8 tendencies or whatnot. So, yeah, I think InDaClub played a good game, but xFactor is just way too strong. Those little micro pickoffs, the little mistakes from InDaClub when you're playing against someone like xFactor, you can't really afford to make those. You just can't. xFactor will do, basically everything perfectly, and you just can't misstep like that with the, I'm talking about things like the solar going down when it didn't need to be, some of the cons being AFK at times and things like that. Anyways, I am Zeteo. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments how well I did in this cast and what I can improve on. Thanks for watching.